Is Mochi a shady company, and are they sending out horrible product to people, putting their lives at risk? I dug deep into Reddit and I interviewed different influencers, and I even had a call with the owner of Mochi to see what the heck is going on with this telehealth company that just had its primary pharmacy shut down. Hi, my name is Adrian. If you're new here, I have struggled with obesity and chronic health issues my entire life. I've tried everything to combat this, including being a season 3 contestant of The Biggest Loser, having gastric bypass, keto, carnivore, running marathons. I've done it all, and I haven't gotten a grip on it until I combined eating a whole lot of meat with taking a individualized plan of GLP-1 medication. Now, I have to tell you that most of my journey has been with Join Mochi, and their individualized approach has been the right fit for me. I have a history of gastrointestinal issues. I have a history of being so sensitive to things that my whole body shuts down. And I also have a history of chronic fatigue and hormone issues. So their slow ability to dose people up and meet people where they are and add vitamins as needed has been the right ticket for me. I loved it so much, and they give every single person who works with them a coupon code that I was sharing my coupon code with thousands of people, and I got a bunch of people on board. For the people who qualify, which if you check the FAQ, you can see what patients they typically work with. People have just reported great things. I mean, they can run our insurance to see if we can get a pre-authorization for name brand medication. You can get sleep studies. They have you can get counseling, nutritional advice, and you have appointments with your doctor. It's just, there's so many options. They have access to the older medications. They're working on newer medications. I can see the company is branching off to offer other types of health and wellness services. There's just a lot to offer there, and the pricing is incredibly, incredibly competitive. So I've loved being there. And then hopefully this comes back one day. One of my favorite parts about Mochi is the mug that they send the medication out. Now, this was coming from when they were working with Equita Pharmacy or Akita Pharmacy, however you want to say it. I just love this. It's great for traveling. If you need to take your peptides with you on the go, then you don't have to do it. You can just bring your peptides with you. So I had loved working with them. One of the things I really had admired about this company is just the very openness with the fact that they were going to fight for individualized dosing. And that's a big deal to me, and that's a very big deal to my husband, who is super, super sensitive, and we cannot be, the standard dosing schedule has really big jumps, and I've seen friends and family really struggle with that. So I really appreciate that they said they were gonna stand up and fight for this. It's like an ant standing up against Mount Rushmore. I mean, to me, that showed a lot of bravery. So I was totally heartbroken on my birthday, March 14th, when I found out that their primary pharmacy, Equita Pharmacy or Akita Pharmacy, had been shut down. And I'm gonna just be honest, because it's the me show, I felt like there was an attack against the future of my ability to stay and be healthy. And why would I think this is because it's very clear right now that the people who own patents are trying to make it so no one else can provide this medication to people. And that is very difficult for our family in so many different ways. One being the ridiculous price that they have, and the lack of insurance coverage. The thing is, even if we can get insurance coverage, there's so many people who could get help for this, like me, for autoimmune conditions and things off label, that they likely wouldn't have access to this medication through a standard doctor insurance for years, if ever. And so it felt like an attack, I'm gonna say. But I didn't say a thing because A, I was sick, and then B, I really care about the people that I have been referring to this company, and what if there is an actual safety concern here and something is going on. Now, my husband and I have been taking these products for months. We found them very effective. Neither of us have been sick or anything like that. The products looked clean and beautiful, and we both continued on our journeys of health. And so I wasn't concerned that anything I'd ever been sent was bad. But here is what they got tagged for by the state of Washington: untrained and or underqualified staff performing sterile compounding, and not properly supervising staff, and not adhering to Washington's sterile compounding procedures. So the last one kind of sounds like, well, there's a possibility that it wasn't sterile. There wasn't a ton that came out from Mochi, so this is where the tables kind of turned. They didn't say a lot in the beginning, and we were all kind of waiting. You know, I worked with another company before, and there was a statement like that day, and there wasn't a lot of communication coming. I'm on the back channel with the people who are part of the affiliate program. There wasn't a lot there except a vague statement that we were just switching everyone to a new pharmacy. Now, to be honest, my first thought was, well, that's impressive. How did you whip that up so fast? Okay, you know, but that is all that was released. And so I just kind of sat back and wondered, well, maybe they'll get up next week. Maybe Akita Equita will be up next week. Who knows? You know, that was my hope. But then I started seeing other influencers that I admire and I trust start to worry. And they were talking about Reddit. So I went out to Reddit, and here is what I found. Okay. People were saying that Mochi is shading for not disclosing every single in and out of their business setup and their relationship with Equita Pharmacy. People were putting down how many family members seemed to be tied to the Mochi company, and how young Dr. Myra is, and how she's not a real doctor, and how Dr. Myra is not an actual doctor who's ever seen patients before, so therefore she's not a real doctor, and that there was a ton of fear about safety. And then of course they started criticizing that the response times for the customer service had gotten long. So I was kind of actually taking it in and going, is this company shady? Like, why aren't they disclosing, you know, their relationship with Equita Pharmacy in better detail? And that is interesting that Dr. Myra never saw any patients, I guess. And yeah, I just started thinking, like, this just seems like, why isn't there a better communication here? And so I really started questioning, should I continue my contract with them? Is it safe to continue sending people there? Should I keep sending people there? So I kind of held back for a few days. And I was supposed to be posting things. I'm under contract with them, and I posted nothing. So then what happened was they released the newest testings, and we were able to see that the newest testings had passed. Everything that was recently created had passed testing. And then Dr. Myra offered a call to us who are in the affiliate program. And what happened on that call was pretty interesting. The first few people who asked questions were like really shy and kind of afraid, and throwing her some slow ball questions. And she looked at us and she said, guys, I've read Reddit. I know what's going on. Throw the real questions at me. Go ahead. And so then I was like, oh, I'll put my hand up, you know. So I don't remember exactly what I asked her, but it was like 3 different questions. And she responded them 1, 2, 3. So the way that she went about responding to people, the memory she had, it was very impressive. Also, she was currently in the warehouse with all the mugs, trying to sort out what to do with them. And she was actually in the thick of running this business. People asked about the ownership of Equita, what their relationship is, or Akita, and what the relationship of Mochi is, and how does that work, and who is this, and who is that, and why do people own this and that. And she did go into some of it. Like, it's not like this huge secret. It's just, so she went into all of that. But whether or not to say all that publicly, they weren't sure that they would want to do that. And so I left the meeting not all hearts and rosies, just wondering, like, I don't understand the communication to the external world. Why aren't we talking more to the external world about what's going on? I feel like she should hire me as a PR, because I could have made some nice statements that I thought, like, I gave them an option for a statement and everybody was like saying, yes, please do what Adrian said. I mean, I feel like I could have handled it, you know? But they're very busy with behind the scenes things, and so I'm not sure if that statement will come out, if ever. Anyway, I did reach out then to some influencers who had signified to me maybe they were considering ending their relationship, and I wanted to know why. I also reached out to some people who were continuing their relationship and to see what their thoughts were on it. One thing that was really important to some of the influencers that were questioning things was that all testing was released. A few days later, all testing from like the last 3 months was released, and we found out that they were testing every single batch despite them not having to do that. They were testing every batch, and every batch that had been sent out had passed for purity, endotoxins, and potency. So any medication that is in your refrigerator has indeed passed testing. It has come out more and more that some of the things that they were being called on were really more, it seems like, administrative. But anyway, I digress. So the call and then my interviews with people still left me leaving. Should I continue to send people to Mochi? Are the people I work with going to be well served if I keep sending them to Mochi? So I slept on it. And the next morning I woke up, even though I sleep terrible, and I'm working on that with my hormones, and through this whole health journey, I'm working on that. And it dawned on me some things. And then I got really excited. So here's a few of the things that it dawned on me when I just let it marinate. So just so you know, I wasn't sold this by Dr. Myra. I wasn't sold this by the Mochi team. This is something I took the facts that they gave me, and this is what I feel is the truth, okay? So first of all, if I ever finished doctoral school, you better believe I would be demanding that everybody calls me Dr. Adrian. And just so you know, that's on my vision board. So hopefully that happens one day. So you better believe. And on top of that, her doctoral, her education is in medical. And you can see not only is she an amazing businesswoman, but she does have a background in how to heal and care for human beings. I took off my patient hat and I kind of put on the businesswoman hat, and I saw if I was running a business, I certainly wouldn't be disclosing the ins and outs of how I set everything up to protect myself and be the most competitive business that there is. They are one of the most competitive telehealth companies that are out there right now. And I certainly wouldn't be shouting from the rooftops to people who are trying to shut me down and people who are trying to beat me how I did it. So I don't think them not telling us all the ins and outs is them trying to be shady. I think it's strategic. And I really don't think, I know for a fact they can't be doing anything illegal because they're being targeted. If they're doing anything illegal at all, I promise you it will be caught. It will be plastered all over the TVs and the news articles, and a big, huge skeptical will be made out of them if they're doing anything illegal or shady, because they are under a microscope right now. Do I think they're sending out an unsafe product? No. Every batch was tested despite that not even being required. And they were able to provide that. It's on joinmochi.com under the blog section. I'll leave a link down below, so you could, if you want to check your batch from the past few months, you can. But I believe that the product is safe and effective. When we look at the citation that they got, it was not considered serious. There were no fines. There were no recalls. So that leads me to believe, it's a big deal to us because there's a kink in receiving our medication, but I don't know that this is so horrific and terrible. When we were in the call with Dr. Myra, it kind of seemed more like a restaffing situation. They have been growing so exponentially, and they were rearranging people to meet the needs of their business that they were getting. And I don't think that it was necessarily unqualified people, but the way that they had restructured people to meet the demand, I guess the state didn't like that. Now, Lee Fits In on TikTok has shown videos of the actual Equita Akita pharmacy, and I have seen some people going crazy over that. I'll tell you, locally, pharmacies are put in closets. They take 100-year-old buildings, they scrap them out, they turn it into a clinic, and part of that clinic in a closet is a pharmacy. Like, I've seen pharmacies tucked in very weird spaces. There's a clinic like almost across the street from where I live that legitimately has black mold on the ceiling. And so I'm not super concerned about the facility. The fact that Mochi has rented a space right next to it to store all of the thermoses and the fact that they have staff right there to help with packaging, to me, that's not alarming. That's very strategic. As far as the relationship between Equita and Mochi and who owns what, all I know is they have the best pricing. So to me, it always seemed like the relationship had to be very, very close. And as far as like profits, I think that it doesn't really matter to me who owns what, because what matters to me is what's coming out of my pocket and what's coming out of the pocket of the people I refer to there. Let's see here. Lee mentioned that the accreditation of Equita Akita Pharmacy had been revoked. I believe that's probably temporary due to the citation, and it'll likely be reinstated as soon as they have met the requirements of the citation to be set back up. I think that somebody had named the other pharmacies who had temporarily lost it and then come back. I hope Equita Pharmacy gets back up and running. In the meantime, we can get our medication from the other pharmacies, which, by the way, have had their own drama. 2 years ago, Red Rock was shady. Last summer and this past winter, that all over Reddit, Hollandale is shady. There's always a negativity rumor, but in reality, I just hope that people become successful and send out good product at a good price so that people who need individualized dosing can get what they need to meet their health goals. I do want to talk about some of the influencers in the way of you're going to start seeing a whole bunch of people drop off. And I think that's for a variety of reasons, but I think the biggest one is fear. And not fear of Mochi or Equita Pharmacy, but fear of the attack. There's only one product that we are supposed to be promoting, and if we talk about anything other than that product, that name brand product, we can get shut down. And in fact, this channel could get shut down because I just said that. And this has actually been happening behind the scenes, and people's videos, people's reels, people's posts have been taken down. There is an attack on anybody who doesn't fall in line. And so this whole entire situation really reminds me of things that happened a few years ago. And so I see people wanting to protect their channel that they built, protect their social media that they built, protect their business that they built. And so they're going to step away. I would be surprised if they started being an affiliate for any other telehealth company. So I think that's what's happening there. That's my opinion. Now, should I be afraid? I guess I should be afraid, but I'm just telling you the truth. The individualized dosing has been the most affordable for our family and has been very effective for our family. And I've had almost no side effects. I can honestly say a little bit of fatigue was my side effect until I switched to one that had some more vitamins in it. So I can honestly say going the individualized care route has been the best route for me, and I hope that it continues. I also find, when I look back at me questioning Dr. Myra and her family and when I was reading Reddit, I've come out of this really actually, I know this is going to sound so cringy to some of you, but I found myself honestly admiring her more. Like, look what she's built. And she's actually part of the ins and outs of what's going on with this company. She's not just a face. If you go check her on TikTok, you'll find a lot of great videos from her. I find that her going right out of college and building this huge business was very innovative, very risky, and she's helped millions of people on their health journey, and she's done it in such a competitive way that she's on top. So if you are looking for a company to get started with, maybe you want to add this tool to your toolbox, whether that's name brand or an individualized plan for you, I suggest checking out joinmochi.com. I've put a link in the description, but you can save by using code 6XR0BB. I hope them the best. I hope they continue to succeed, and I hope that I can continue to work on my health and my wellness and my obesity struggle with that company. So if you have any questions or comments, please put them below and I would be happy to check it out. So thank you so much for watching. If you've liked this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Goodbye.